with all my dogs. Hello, everybody. I am so excited. I have someone new that you need to meet. She's another co-author, amazing co-author that I met in Ireland. Like, who would meet this amazing person in Ireland, right? In a castle. Isn't that amazing? And how we met? Oh my God. So it's crazy, but thank you. You know, we do crazy things after we get cancer. That's what I've realized. And being in a castle was something crazy and phenomenal at the same time. So let me tell you, Dawn Gaden is a professional woman that women get unstuck. She helps women get unstuck from limiting beliefs so that they can rewire their brains for success with movement, mantras, and meditation to create lasting, sustainable change and powerful, positive self-image. So thank you, Dawn, for saying yes. I know it was like last minute and you thought about it and then you did it. And I think it's magnificent because I fell in love with your story when I met you in Ireland. And I was like, she needs to be in my book.
Yeah, it's never, it took a while to be able to share the story because, you know, when you say the word cancer, people's face kind of shifts. And so, but I have found through people like you and others that, you know, we connect through things like this. And I'm not the only one that has cancer. And there's a lot of people with many different stories. And it's amazing how these stories affect us and we learn and we stay connected and it just touches our heart to be able to live bigger, right? To dare to be bigger when we can connect with other people's stories.
Absolutely. So can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So what I want you to do, Dawn, is tell your story in the perspective of when you were diagnosed, you know, how did you guys react? And then why is it important that people get this book? And what transformation that you have from it? Because I think that in every chaos, we transform and we become a new person.
Absolutely.
So how, what changes did it bring into your life? So I'm going to give you the spotlight and then I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so cancer was a fun journey for me. And probably everybody's journey was a little different. But I'm going to start with when my body was kind of really breaking down because I know it was breaking down, and cancer was really a message for me to shift, to stop, and to do it differently. I've always lived with this belief and this knowing that through any obstacle is an opportunity to happiness. Like anything's possible. And when my husband lost his job and I had to go back to work, we had 4 kids. I had to go back to work while I was working part-time so I could raise our children. And he was working and it worked for us. It was like magical. And he lost his job and I had to find the job. And there's a lot of yuck that came with that job and that time in my life and having twins, and we have 4 boys. And I knew something had to shift. I was living on this autopilot state of just do, fix, save the day, be the superhero, this old story of having to take care of everything. And it was a day where I was ready to just kind of leave, like escape my life and disappear into the world. And I remember driving to work one day feeling like I could just keep driving, like just disappear. Like I'm broken. I have nothing to give. I'm out. Like I'm out. And I remember like it was a wake up moment. And I remember I just prayed. I said, God, you got to give me something else. Like this, I can't handle. This is too much. Got to give me something else. And it went on for a while, this way of living. And then it wasn't until then I was diagnosed with cancer that I really woke up and thought, I need to take responsibility for how I'm thinking and feeling and showing up in my world. And so it was July 10th, 2010. I was standing on my front porch, ready to run off to work, save the day. I was in this just like this robotic state of just going through the motions. And my husband's standing there with me, and I can remember his face. And we're waiting for this phone call as I'm running off to work. We're going to wait for this phone call for the doctor to say whether or not it was cancer. And we were pretty darn sure it was, because the lymph nodes they removed were really big, and we were pretty clear. It was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And it was that day we got the phone call, and the doctor like this, which I think this needs to be addressed in so many ways. But the doctor says, "Yep, it's cancer." I feel like that was the way it was told to me. Like, yep, like this is just another name on his list of people he has to call. And that system, of course, needs to be changed and become more human. But I said, okay. Hung up the phone. I said, all right, it is. So I got to go to work, and we'll deal with this later. And I feel like my husband's face was like just deer in headlights. Like, are you kidding me? And off I went to work. And it took a while through this process for me to stop and say, what do I need? What do I need to live my life here, to be able to make decisions for myself, to enjoy my children and my husband and my work again? Because at this point, I didn't want to work anymore. I didn't want to do therapy. I didn't want to help anybody. Like, if I can't help myself, then how can I help anybody else? And so I decided to leave my job, and which was a big decision because my husband still wasn't working. So this was leave a job that was putting food on the table and go on food stamps and pray with a lot of faith that I could rest and heal my body and still take care of our kids. I think this was the first time I took 2 years off work. I didn't work since I was 16 years old. My first job was in a shoe store, used all my paychecks for those shoes, love shoes, and continued to work through college. And this was my wake up call. No longer living on autopilot. Wake up, Dawn. It's time to live your life the way you decide to live. And so I took this time to be mom and enjoy my life and enjoy my husband again. And it was a time to decide what I really wanted. And I had decided I'm not going to be a therapist anymore, but how do I give up that work, like that license, the work I've dedicated my life to and got some enjoyment from? Up until then, I could see my clients appreciating their life more and getting better. And I found myself continuing to look at my yoga journal magazine. I was a yoga teacher at the time. Mindful magazine, meditations. I continued to use meditation. And I thought, I know there's a way. I know there's a way to do the work I love and take care of myself. And I remember watching a show, not a show, it was a conference. And the presenter said, we can't pour from an empty cup. And so I want you to imagine this tall glass vase, like a tall glass vase, and you're filling it up with water, and it's raising and raising and raising and raising, and just filling up with water. That's you filling up. And this water pours over, and it just like pours over. And that's what pours over to your family and your kids and your work, because my work is my life. It's part of who I am. It's what I do. It's what I love. Writing this book and sharing my story now has become part of that experience. And nobody ever expects that. Nobody ever says, oh, cancer is my story. Are you kidding me? I don't own it. I had to have that be part of my story. And I can pour over with it. I can share it with others and help people know that it's okay. You're not alone, and we can thrive. I met a woman, her name's Chris Carr. I went to see her speak in New York City. She writes the books Crazy Sexy Cancer. I highly recommend that as a good read, and nutrition based, like how to really heal your body. And she helped me thrive. I'm a thriver in cancer. That's when people will say to me, Dawn's a survivor. I'm like, that doesn't work for me. I'm a thriver. I thrive in my life, And I teach a practice called Intensati that raises your energy to be a thriver, to thrive in our life. And that's what's so crucial. And it's not always easy. And I know that. When I was diagnosed, I told my mom, I think she was one of the only people I told, and she told my siblings. I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to speak it. And it was scary. And I didn't even want to tell my kids. I needed to talk to my therapist on how do I tell my kids? I don't want to tell my kids. Like, can we just pretend this doesn't exist? No, you can't pretend this doesn't exist. So I knew all the information about the cancer that I was experiencing, and that's the information I could share. Now, my story is unique to me, and it's the story that I live with, and it's what I share with people. And like I say, like I've said all my life, every obstacle is an opportunity to your happiness. These obstacles, it doesn't matter what they are, they pop up. It's just an obstacle to get to where I want to go. Possibility is over there. So when you get your book, when you get this book, you're going to see all the stories, all these amazing, phenomenal people that are thriving, that have a story to share, and that probably many of us had to pick ourselves up off the floor a few times, or have had someone help us off the floor a few times, because it's not easy and we cannot do this alone. And let this book be, this might be your very first experience hearing about how do I thrive with cancer? How do I dare to be me through this journey? Get the book, because you'll hear stories. You'll likely cry, and you'll likely laugh, and you'll likely smile and feel warm, and know that you're not alone, and we're here to support and to share. So my story is here to inspire you to live your best. The cancer I experience, it's not mine, it's this visitor in my world right now, is non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's called follicular lymphoma. And one thing I can warn you of is, if you're diagnosed, don't go look it up. Don't Google it. How many times have you heard that? Don't Google it. It's true. Don't do it. That's what I did when I went back to work that day, is I Googled it. And do you know how many non-Hodgkin's lymphomas there are? A whole bunch. You know where your head goes? In all different directions. I want to give you this information as well. You're hiring a good team, right? You hire the team of care providers. And if you don't like them, you fire them. Fire them. When I was diagnosed, I went to 4 different doctors. I'm in Michigan. I went to UVM. I went to Carmanos. I went to St. Joe's, and I went to one more. There was a private doctor, and all of them said, "Why are you getting so many second opinions and third opinions and fourth opinions?" And I said, "Because it's my body. It's my body. I get to decide if all these stories line up and if the information I'm finding out is right for me. Because you guys get to go home at the end of the night, and I get to go home with me at the end of the night, and I'm important. And if I want to find 4 doctors or 10 doctors, then that's what I'm going to do, to find my team that's going to help me through the journey to be the best that I can be." And that's what's the most important thing. So through my ups and downs, I'll share this with you. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is follicular lymphoma. It shows up in the lymph node. So I notice a lymph node swollen and bumps that show up. And so I've had that happen 3 times. And one of the times that happened was a time when it was 2016. I was originally diagnosed in 2010, and I was frustrated, and I had to make decisions about treatment. All the natural treatments I was doing, along with any medical traditional interventions that would benefit me. And I was frustrated one day. I'm like, I have decisions to make. I'm tired of making decisions. I'm trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong, and what's going to work and what's not going to work, and what's going to have side effects, and are the side effects worth it? And all the things that go in your head. And my husband had said to me, "Dawn, you're stressed and you're frustrated, go do your intensati practice, because it always makes you feel good. Just go to your practice and you'll get clarity. I said, you're right. So I found this practice called intensati, and it's a mindful movement practice with affirmations and music, and we move our body and we elevate our state and we feel good. And I found this practice on DVD in 2007. And again, working part-time, home with my kids, I would use DVDs to practice. And along my yoga journey, I found Intensati. And it was October 2016. And I had to make some decisions about treatment. And I was moving my body and shouting these positive affirmations. And I thought, this is everything I teach in counseling. This is everything I teach my clients, but in a movement class. I have to teach this. I need to bring this to Michigan and teach this practice. And so, of course, I looked it up, and there was a leader training in November, a month later. So I say to my husband, we're going to New York. I need to teach this practice. I need to be trained to teach this practice. And so I did. A month later, we got my parents to watch the kids, and Mike, of course, went with me because we're always up for an adventure. I mean, life is an adventure. And off I went to lead, to do this practice. And it's always worth the risk to do something you love. This was a scary practice. Patricia Moreno created Intensati, and she was a world aerobics competitor. She was known in New York City for Intensati. And in leader training, we go and we stand in front of her and we do the practice. You got to audition, you got to test, you got to whatever you want to call it, to be this leader. And I thought, it's worth it. It's worth it because people need this practice, especially when we're struggling with health issues and we're down and we're lost. And if any of you have ever felt like you want to escape your life, like I felt, we need something to hold on to. We need something to wake us up to say, I got this. I got this. Maybe we need to rest. Maybe we need to stand up and shout a little bit. Maybe we need to take a vacation or go play. Whatever it is, we got to show up for ourselves. And learning from each other is crucial. We're not alone. We've learned that we're not alone. We're here to support each other and thrive together. And so that's the benefit of this book, of this work that you've done at Angelica, is bringing people together to share their stories so we can all shine and thrive together.
Absolutely. I kept saying during the interviews, it's like lighting a match for some, that even if it's a little light at the end of the tunnel that people are seeing so that they can find their way out.
Yes.
It's not easy. It's a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went through health issues for 7 years, in and out of the hospital for 7 years, long years. And so I know that it could be very difficult. And then you're not only dealing with your health, but you're dealing with the physical. I'm losing my hair, my eyelashes, my eyebrows. There's so many things that go with the illness.
Mm-hmm.
But in this book, we're going to tell the story. And some of us will tell you some of the treatments we took, not because we're telling you to go do it, but sometimes you have no idea what to do. And you can have a medicine bag and then start putting things in your medicine bag that you think fits you. We're not going to tell you what to do or not to do, but what we did. And then the aha moments that we experienced, the support we got, the associations that supported us, our families that supported us, and friends, So we have so much, and there's, you're going to tear up in some of the chapters, but you're also going to smile. And you're going to laugh with some of the stories that we're telling. So you need to go get the book. We're asking the Rotary clubs, the commerce clubs, people that know and have oncology centers. We go through chemo 6 to 8 hours, sitting there for hours. So Go get a book and go take these books and donate them to these centers, because believe me, we're going to inspire hope. Look,
Yes.
you buy coffee and it's going to cost you like $6, right? And this book is going to cost you half of it. So, and it's an investment in somebody else's life that you're going to give hope. 1.9 million people in a year will be diagnosed with some type of cancer.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you will know someone within
Mhm.
those 1.9 million. So get the book, even if you don't know someone, you know, and it's not just about cancer. It's about chaos and struggle, like deep darkness that we experienced. So if you're going through some deep darkness, this book will inspire you, will give you hope, like you will come out of that darkness. You will. Right,
Yes.
Dawn?
Always a light. There's always a light. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
So I'm just so delighted that you showed up here, and I want to thank you. Thank you for being here again. And I'm going to put the video again so that people can go and get it on Amazon.
So exciting.
Yeah, so the ebook is out, and we have international authors, co-authors from all over the world. So we intend, and our intention is to reach millions of people around the world, and we need your help. So thank you, Dawn, for showing up.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart. And we want to thank everybody who's watching either the replay or will be watching this now. Thank you. Thank you so much for showing up. Share, like, comment, and let us know how we can support you.
Yes.
Any
Thank
last
you.
words?
Keep shining your light. Dare. Keep daring to be your best and thriving. We're here for you. We're all here for you.
Absolutely. And I'm Dr. B. Angelica Benavides, known as the Ultimate Legacy Builder. And I truly believe that we're all going to leave this world, but what we're trying to do is live, and lead a legacy for generations to come. So thank you. Have an
Thank you
amazing day.
so much.
Bye-bye.